I'm beginning to see in Ibrahim Traoré a striking resemblance to the late Thomas Sankara, the iconic revolutionary leader often referred to as Africa's Che Guevara. At a similarly young age, Sankara rose to lead Burkina Faso with a bold vision for radical social and economic transformation. Today, decades later, Traoré appears to embody that same spirit of youthful audacity and decisive action. At just 35 years old, Ibrahim Traoré has become Africa's youngest head of state. He assumed the role of transitional president of Burkina Faso in 2022 after leading a military coup that ousted the previous interim president. Such a dramatic ascent of power at such a young age suggests he possesses not only ambition, but also an unwavering drive to shape the country's future during a period of deep turmoil. In September, he will mark 1 year in office. He has publicly pledged that by June 2024, he will hand over power to a democratically elected government, a promise that reveals both his intentions and the complexities surrounding them. Is this pledge evidence of genuine national interest, or is it merely a convenient declaration masking deeper personal or factional ambitions? Only time will tell. Traoré's rise was not in isolation. Together with a group of fellow soldiers, he overthrew his former comrade and interim president, Paul-Henri Sandaogo Damiba, the very man who had earlier appointed Traoré as head of an artillery regiment in the city of Kaya. Ironically, Damiba himself had come to power through a military coup just 8 months prior, overthrowing the civilian government led by President Alpha Condé. Both coups were justified on the grounds that the government had failed to contain violent armed insurgencies devastating the country's northern and eastern regions. Coup plots are always precarious, even more so when the target is a military leader and the conspirators are fellow soldiers. In many countries, the penalty for such an act is execution by firing squad. Critics point out that Traoré worked closely with Damiba, raising questions of betrayal. Yet, supporters argue that his actions demonstrate courage and a willingness to confront leadership failures head-on. Born in the small western town of Bondakwi, Traoré's path to power began far from politics. He studied geology at the University of Ouagadougou before joining the military in 2010. He trained at the prestigious Georges Namineo Military Academy and quickly rose through the ranks. By 2020, he had become a captain, a promotion earned in part due to his involvement in the 2018 United Nations peacekeeping mission in neighboring Mali and his direct combat experience against militants in Burkina Faso's volatile north. Burkina Faso has endured years of political upheaval and relentless armed insurgencies, destabilizing not only the country but the wider Sahel region since 2015. Despite the French military's presence since 2018, security has deteriorated rather than improved. Frustration reached a tipping point in February 2023 when French troops were asked to leave, with the government arguing their presence had failed to deliver results. Under Traoré's leadership, Burkina Faso has pivoted away from France and towards new international partners, especially Russia. He has openly voiced strong anti-French sentiments, echoing similar rhetoric from other military leaders in the region who accuse France of exploiting crises in its former colonies to maintain influence. Traoré has vowed to end Burkina Faso's dependence on France, insisting that cooperation with Russia offers a better chance to tackle militant violence and address economic challenges. The Sahel region has seen a wave of military takeovers in recent years. Like Traoré, the leaders of Mali, Guinea, and most recently Niger have seized power through coups, citing the failures of entrenched political elites. These new leaders have formed an informal alliance, pledging mutual support and declaring that an attack on one is an attack on all. Whether the solidarity stems from genuine patriotic motives or self-serving power plays remains unclear. What is certain, however, is that they see themselves as a last resort to protect their nations where civilian governments have fallen short. President Traoré has stated that his ultimate goal is to bring lasting change to Burkina Faso. He has called on Russia for greater assistance to strengthen national security and stimulate economic recovery. Yet, the region's volatile security and economic climate make the future far from certain. If Traoré and his fellow Hunna leaders are to be remembered differently from those they replaced, they must prove that their promises are not empty slogans, but commitment to lay foundations for genuine stability and development. Only time will reveal whether these young military rulers can walk the talk, ensuring that when they eventually step aside, they leave behind stronger institutions, greater security, and renewed hope for their people.